there's a lot of reasons to talk about Iran, a lot. But that's one of them, because it was a very quick self-own. It was a very quick self-injury, right? And so in the past few days, obviously Trump has been talking about we're moving at a rapid pace, right? Today he said he was bored. He was kind of getting a little bit bored with all of it. And he has also, if I can find this, that's not the one, it's this one. The reporting is pretty wild. He screamed at Netanyahu. What did he say? He called him fucking crazy.
Yes.
He's seeing, what is he seeing right now?
He also said you would be in jail if not for me.
Yes.
He basically
said, you're fucking crazy. You'd be in prison if it weren't for me. Yep. I'm saving your ass. Everybody hates you now. Everybody hates Israel because of this. What the fuck are you doing?
Right. Well, I can tell you exactly what he's doing. He's doing what I've been saying he's going to do for the last 3 months. The peace negotiation between the United States and Iran is not a peace negotiation, people. Why? Because the free radical in this chemistry set is Israel. They are doing what the hell they want to do. And here are the two primary targets that Israel has. They don't want Iran to remain as Iran, period. They want complete destruction of the country, meaning break it all up and come back again and start from scratch. And they want to take out Hezbollah and all the proxies that they support. Those are their two primary goals, mission-wise. And anytime the United States says, hey, we are going to negotiate some type of settlement, Israel has acted a fool militarily. This has happened now, not once, not twice, but 3 times, basically every month since we've started this. Okay, so understand, Trump is now frustrated because he realizes he can't keep Netanyahu on the leash. It's the other way around. Netanyahu has put the leash on Trump. He is the one that had him do Operation Midnight Hammer. He is the one that convinced him to step into this landmine. And here we are, right? And now Trump's frustration as he realizes that he, once again, I'll say it again, painted himself into a corner, a diplomatic corner with a military brush. He has no way out. And even when he tries to find a way out, Israel is there to slam the door and say, stay in there. Stay in there. So, you know, I wish I could sit there and be more optimistic. But ladies and gentlemen, this is why I have been adamant since the Saturday morning we woke up and this started. And I said, oh my gosh, this is the worst case scenario. Because we self-selected it. It'd be different had Iran attacked other countries in the area and we went to their defense. You have a completely different way to go about strategy and how to negotiate. But because we decided to do this off the high of Venezuela, because, you know, all colored people's countries are the same, apparently.
Yeah.
This is what's going to happen. And here we are.
And here we are. So let me ask you this about Bibi. I mean, we know his aim has always been the destruction of anyone who poses any kind of threat, whether it's realistic or not, to Israel, right? He has said he wants to push Palestinians into the sea and just clear it. Like, you know, that's his aim. Well, he's not. Is he content to just continue fighting on to infinity? Like, what is his end game here? Because it would be really difficult, right, to wipe out entire populations of humans. He's tried, right? He's trying.
I think this is a very, very valid point. What is his overall objective? His overall objective is to remain in power first, right? And then deal with any and all takers that threaten Israel. I do believe fundamentally he is trying to protect Israel, but he wants to be the one to do it. And he wants to do it from what he believes is a strength of position, of strength position. Meaning, let's remember, Netanyahu's brother was killed, okay, by the same people he's going after. Let's also remember, number 2, that man was about to get removed from office by the Israeli Supreme Court. People forget that man was guilty of corruption of the highest order, and he was about to get yanked. October 7th bailed him out, right? And so he has maintained Israel in a war footing, suspending elections and all the things that they deem necessary to maintain power. The other thing that I think people need to understand is Israel can only continue to do this as long as the United States provides the resources to do it. But this is where the lobbying comes in, the APACs and everything that you've heard. This is where it comes into play, because despite what Congress has been saying, even going back to Gaza, have they shut off funding shut off funding and supplying Israel? No. As a matter of fact, they are quietly going the other way with the United States Israeli Defense Cooperation Initiative, or whatever the heck they're proposing right now in Congress. And if you don't know about that, ladies and gentlemen, that will make Israel an even closer ally than any country the United States deals with, to include the NATO countries and Canada and Mexico, our neighbors. That's what they're proposing. So this is a long-term strategic project that Netanyahu wants, that many Israeli prime ministers have begged for, and they're close to getting, because they have someone finally in the White House, going all the way back to Truman, that they can manipulate, and that's Donald John Trump.
So I was looking up the odds, like where we are, and Kalshi, I think, some of these ship markets have the odds of us, having some sort of peace in Iran or some deal with Iran at like 30% by the end of June.
Oh,
I mean, that's 4 weeks away. So what's the Bobby prediction market say? The Bobby Jones market.
It's interesting. Everybody's trying to handicap this. I'm gonna tell you right now, it's not happening in June. It's not happening in June. I'll tell you why. Because in this extended peace, ceasefire, whatever, both sides are rearmed. They both rearmed, right? And so instead of one side giving the other a major concession, they'd rather bomb the hell out of each other. They made that abundantly clear. So if you're doing that, June, this month, this is going to be the whole tit for tat thing. Now, go ahead, everybody, write it down, put it on your calendar, circle it. You'll hear on Friday to Saturday that we're close to a deal. Markets will open. Iran will say, no, we're not. Markets will tank by Tuesday. This is what's happening. Then maybe about, midway through the month, people are sick and tired of it. They'll have a real deal that's supposedly actually being negotiated, and Israel will bomb Hezbollah, or Israel will go into Syria or Lebanon, wherever they want, they will do it. And we will restart this cycle all over again. To me, this will not change until the world economy is brought to its knees. And the world will basically say, let Iran have their nuclear whatever. We don't care. Just let us monitor it. Basically trying to reestablish the JCPOA. Only difference is now Iran will sit there and say, and if you don't follow us, we will close the strait so quick, it'll give you whiplash. That's the difference. Because now that is Iran's nuclear deterrent, the Strait of Hormuz. We created it for them, and they will use it, and there will be no regime change. There will be no government turnover, just like every other nation that is a nuclear power. We messed around and gave them a proverbial nuke by doing this, and these clowns still don't recognize it.
So, look, this is an interesting place, right? And Iran has gone from being a real pariah state, the massive underdog, the sort of pain in the ass of everyone in the region, to being one of 3 or 4 world powers, right? They hold a lot of cards here. And so I'm wondering if you think there is any, and I'm being like Pollyanna here for sure, but if there is any moderating force to having that sort of power in your hands, right? If Iran suddenly is like, oh, we have a ton of power, we have negotiating power, we have a seat at the table, Now we can actually talk about the needs that we have. We can maybe structure deals differently. We can ask for what we need without having to strap suicide bombs on everywhere. We will if we need to, but we don't need to.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that, Sam, because the old regime, before they were all bombed into oblivion, was literally pivoting towards that direction. Right? There was a ban on nuclear enrichment from the Ayatollah himself. You saw after the JCPOA was signed, while Obama was still in office, the attempt to reestablish international markets, etc. They were trying to go on a glide slope where they would be respected in the international community, just like anybody else. You know, China's a communist country, but they are very well respected in the international community. That was part of the thought process. Trump blew all that up. Now you're dealing with a younger, more radical group that's leading that, by the way, the Ayatollah had his entire family and bloodline pretty much wiped out. Okay. Now, the thing that gives me hope is, you know, the Iranian parliament, the people who have spoken, who have basically tried to lead negotiations, seem to be rational, right? They do realize they have to establish something long-term that's sustainable. And this is why the world, everyone outside the United States and Israel, has gone through and started doing backdoor talks with them. You know, that got a lot of publicity about 2 months ago, but no one's really talked about it since. That does not mean the conversations have stopped. So do I believe that there can be some sort of normalization of relations with, you know, Iran and the rest of the world? Yes. But, and here's the huge but, don't expect that with the United States, because Iran's going to demand restitution, which I don't blame them. I really don't. And is there anything that makes you think Donald Trump is going to sign off on sending any money of reparations to Iran? Because that's what it's going to take. And I don't see him doing it, because he will see himself losing, and he would have lost. But it's something about cutting a check that Donald Trump has always hated, going back to his casino days, right?
And contractors,
right?
Days. Remember that?
But that's what's going to need to happen in order for those ties to be reestablished. You know, Naira was on with us a couple of weeks ago, and she kind of hinted at the same thing. Yeah. We got to be able to give an off-ramp to Iran, and it may come at the cost of an off-ramp for the United States. Meaning, Sun Tzu talks about it: give your enemy a way out.
Yep. To
end conflict. In order for that to happen, I think Trump is going to have to take the L. He's going to have to take the loss.
Well, that would be their off-ramp, right? And I feel like, and this is kind of goes back to my question about Bibi Netanyahu. What off-ramp is he? I don't. He's not a Trump, right? He's not an idiot.
I agree.
And so it seems as if he is absolutely willing to just continue aggression for the sake of aggression forever.
This is the difficult part about the peace process to me. Even if we get over the hurdle of Donald Trump capitulating something to calm Iran down, who's going to check Israel?
Yeah.
And if you don't check them, and this is the fundamental diplomatic question that the United States of America as a nation has to ask themselves, will you continue to unabashedly support Israel? Between Gaza and Iran, two major incidents here in the last 2 years, right? American attitudes towards the government of Israel have changed.
Yeah.
Does Congress continue to budget money to send weapons to Israel if they do not do anything to maintain a negotiated peace between the United States and Iran? See, now we're talking about sitting at the big boys' tables, ladies and gentlemen. This is where real diplomacy takes place. And when you have a cabinet full of lackeys, as I'm calling it, the lackeyification of the federal government, this is why we're failing. Because you have to have seasoned diplomats that are subject matter experts, that have pre-existing ties with the nations in the region, that Iran believes can be trusted at face value, that can speak power and truth to Israel to make this work. And if you have not noticed, we're just putting anybody in any spot as long as they've pledged loyalty to Donald Trump throughout the federal government. So how is this going to work? How's this delegate negotiation work? I don't know. We're going to get into some of these clowns that are being hired here in a second, but there's a ripple effect.